Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, residents of Lincolnville are still in shock following a death on Friday that has since been ruled a homicide.
Our Matthew Jurancic has the story.
Friday evening, the Waldo County Sheriff's Office received a 911 phone call reporting an unresponsive male at 54 Thorndike Road in Lincolnville. After searching the property, sheriff's deputies found 37-year-old Kevin Kira deceased. Police detectives later arrested 47-year-old Matthew Pendleton.
When I first learned of it, I was pretty shocked, to be honest. We're a pretty small, close-knit community.
Detectives and evidence technicians with the Maine State Police worked throughout the weekend conducting interviews and analyzing the scene. After an autopsy was performed, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner ruled the death a homicide.
We were actually scratching our heads trying to figure out exactly the last time something like this. None of us can remember. I can't certainly remember. My family can't either.
This time, the cause of death is being withheld as requested by the Attorney General's office. Even though the incident happened on Friday, residents are still processing the news.
It's still really a shock because we are such a close-knit community. Seeing, friendly faces that and then they're involved in something tragic like this, it's pretty hard to take.
Pendleton is set to be arraigned Tuesday morning at Belfast District Court. Reporting from Lincolnville, Matthew Jurancic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Bangor police arrested one person and are searching for another following an alleged robbery. According to Sergeant Jason McAmbley, earlier today, a 40-year-old man flagged down a Bangor officer on Center Street. They say the man was running and only wearing boxer shorts at the time. The man told police he'd been robbed at a home on Center Street. Later in the evening, police detectives and the special response team served a warrant at the Center Street residence. As a result of the investigation and warrant, 42-year-old Ronald Cody of Brewer was arrested and taken to Penobscot County Jail. Police are also looking for 42-year-old Nicole Ford. Both are being charged with kidnapping, robbery, and criminal threatening with a dangerous weapon.
Meanwhile, a routine traffic stop this morning escalated and nearly took a tragic turn. Our Devin Dagnault was at the scene.
According to officials, Stephen Larrabee of Brooks, Maine, was stopped by Belfast officers for a license plate violation. During the stop, authorities began to suspect Larrabee was impaired by drugs or alcohol and asked him to step out of the vehicle. Larrabee then reached for what authorities thought was a handgun. When authorities backed up from the vehicle, Larrabee sped off and began a low-speed chase through Waldo County.
One of the Waldo County deputies was able to actually spike the vehicle. The vehicle continued into Plymouth Village and eventually it became disabled in the middle of Moosehead Trail.
According to the Belfast Police Department, after stopping, Larrabee barricaded himself in his vehicle and informed authorities that he had a handgun. Officers negotiated with Larrabee in an attempt to get him out of his vehicle and at one point used a flashbang to distract him. Karen Brainard lives in a house on Route 7 and was able to watch the whole event unfold.
It became apparent pretty quickly that the person in the vehicle wasn't going to get out, and so the police officers were trying to get him to put the keys out of the car, and he seemed pretty agitated, yelling and screaming at the police officers that he didn't want to be hurt, and they kept assuring him that they weren't going to hurt him.
After several hours of negotiations, Larrabee was safely taken from his vehicle and detained. He is currently facing charges including operating after revocation, violation of conditions of release, failure to stop for law enforcement, and felon in possession of firearms. We were able to get in contact with Larrabee's son, Matt Larrabee, about the situation, and he is stunned, to say the least. Matt Larrabee says that although his father has had problems with the law, it's never escalated to something like this. Matt Larrabee attributed his father's erratic behavior to PTSD from his military service and head trauma. Stephen Larrabee is currently being held in Waldo County Jail and is scheduled to be arraigned on March 3rd. In Plymouth for ABC7 and Fox 22, Devin Dagnault.
In other news, Northern Light Acadia Hospital President Scott Oxley will be stepping down. Oxley has been with Northern Light Health for 30 years and also serves as Senior Vice President of Northern Light Health System. President President and CEO Timothy Dentry called Oxley a tireless advocate for Acadia Hospital, its employees, patients, and the hospital's role in the community. Oxley will be moving on to become the president of the Galen Cole Family Foundation. He officially departs Northern Light Health on May 1st.
Well, today, Senator Angus King talked about what he called his eventful visit to Ukraine. When Russia invaded Ukraine, many anticipated the conflict would last just a few mere weeks, and yet the war has now persisted for nearly a year. Senator Angus King said the main purpose for his trip to Ukraine was to get a true feeling for what is actually happening on the ground there, and as an act of accountability following President Biden's release of billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine.
Very rough. A lot of casualties, almost like trench warfare in World War I. Some very serious battles taking place right now.
King says U.S. aid is vital to suppress Vladimir Putin's push to reestablish the Soviet Union, which he says would have lasting negative effects beyond Europe's borders.
A $3.9 million grant will boost the town of Patton's effort to build a new library. The grant is part of the fiscal year 2023 government funding package. Senator Susan Collins visited the town today to help celebrate. The group called Friends of the Veterans Memorial Library are spearheading the effort to build the new building. The library has been temporarily housed in the Lumbermen's Museum since 2020. Prior to that, the library operated in a building that was constructed back in 1848 as a Baptist church before being signed over to the town. They say the new facility will provide more computer workshops for all age groups while also offering outdoor equipment to community members and tourists. The Friends group also hopes the new facility can host small nutrition and cooking classes to teach youth healthy habits.
Well, tonight, the Herman School District Committee rejected a proposed book rating system. Parents have been divided on whether students should have access to some books in the library, which some say contain explicit content. A local group of Herman parents have worked collectively for months now to push for more than 80 books to receive age-appropriate ratings based on alleged sexual content and drug use. Several parents expressed concerns that a rating system would result in censorship. A few students spoke at the meeting as well. Some expressed that certain books have allowed them to heal with personal traumas. Regina Leonard, media spokesperson for the group of concerned parents, clarified that they say the rating option is not a ban, but rather an opportunity for parents to work together.
100% expected tonight to go exactly the way that it did. They continue to not listen. They continue to not work with us. They continue to treat another board member who we voted in to represent us the way that they do. Our questions, our concerns, and what we're asking for is not unreasonable. We're not asking for black and white from what we suggested. We're asking to work together.
The board voted to initiate an opt-out system allowing parents to simply select which books their child cannot check out.
Northern Light Main Coast Hospital celebrated the grand opening of its new birthing center today. Hospital leaders held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Dixon Family Birthing Center in Ellsworth this afternoon. Hospital President John Ronan says the new center is family-focused, featuring labor, delivery, and recovery suites with plenty of space for a support person to stay overnight.
Delivering a baby is one of the most important things a mom will do or a family will do. Having a great space to do that in a private room and not having to move after delivering a baby was something that was important to us.
Birthing Center will officially open up tomorrow.
Well, switching gears now, gas prices in Maine continue to fall, albeit little by little. They went down a little over 1 cent per gallon in the last week. According to Gas Buddy's survey of more than 1,200 stations around the state, the average price now sits at $3.35 a gallon. That's 24 cents a gallon lower than a month ago, almost 5 cents a gallon lower than a year ago. Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy's head of petroleum, says gas prices did rise a bit around the country last week due to previous refinery outages caused by cold weather, but that could slow as refiners get back online. He says the average price of diesel also continues to drift lower.
So
better than them going up.
Yeah, no matter how little, we'll take that step by step. Definitely welcome news, in the heart of winter. People are just using a little extra gas. Even if they're not going on too far trips.
Yeah.
Everyone's warming up their cars for
Yeah,
at least a few
absolutely.
minutes before getting in. That alone uses
And
up
those
extra
diesel
gas.
prices were just bonkers for so long. It's especially great to see that price point coming down.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, well, with a little bit more on what we can expect weather-wise, let's get a first check of our forecast.
All right, Beth, thank you. Happy Monday. Your first weather is brought to you by Kings Mountain RC. And okay, for us, temperature-wise, we can do this, right? 31 here in Bangor. The average high being about 26, 27. All of us were above that today, and we'll be that tomorrow and also Wednesday and Thursday. In fact, Thursday, we could see high temperatures back in the 40s. Out there now, we have lots of cloud cover, and there are a couple of flurries north of the area tonight. There may be a flurry, most likely not. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies tonight into tomorrow morning, and then decreasing clouds tomorrow morning. All right, a bigger system, though, it looks like a lot, but it's not. It's not reaching the ground. So overall, just maybe a flurry in the air tonight. It will not be a big deal. Our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly cloudy skies. A couple of flurries can't be ruled out, with low temperatures in the 20s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
Alrighty, Jeff, thank you so much.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, a small town is on edge due to the continuous decrease in affordable housing.
And how a former Maine police officer is finding a new calling as an author. All those stories and more local news when we come right back.
Looking for a new work experience? Fox and ABC Bangor are partnering with local employers to feature the best local job opportunities, like this one.
Bonham Masonry is currently hiring for general laborers and experienced masons. On-the-job training is available for those with no experience. We offer paid time off, travel pay, IRA, and health benefits. If interested in applying, please contact Dan Bonham at 323-5304.
Don't cry, don't whine. Get yours where I got mine. At BB's Tattoo Company, 262 Moosehead Trail, Newport.
With AAA Insurance, by bundling our home and auto policies, we saved over $450.
And we were shocked at the savings.
When we switched to AAA auto insurance and bundled our policies, we were able to save over $400 every year.
Switch to AAA insurance today, and you could save an average of $483 on auto insurance. Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free AAA full picture quote to find out how much you could save.
Well, my passion is hang gliding. I've been doing it for over 30 years, and it's like flying. I mean, it's like everything you always dreamed about. AAA insurance helps us save more.
And do more.
The savings from AAA Insurance has allowed me to pursue my passion of making jewelry. It's great to have a little bit of extra cash to do something that you love.
To find out how much you could save by switching to AAA insurance, call 866-460-1291 for your free AAA full picture quote today. You'll be glad you did.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Fixing things is my job.
We're going to get the job done.
The Resident, all new Tuesdays on Fox.
Coming up on the next Good Morning Maine, we'll hear from a former chief of police in Maine. She has written a book about her memoirs, and we'll hear about the highs and lows of her career. We'll also observe National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day and a big meeting in Herman concerning sexually explicit books. We hope you'll join us on the next Good Morning Maine.
A driver struck and killed the woman as she was trying to cross the street in New Hampshire. Brad Rogers takes a closer look at this intersection in Rochester and why this tragedy may have been avoided had the city acted to make it safer sooner.
Rochester police say Cindy Aspinall was in a mobility scooter crossing Columbus Avenue at this crosswalk on the afternoon of December 30th when a vehicle heading south hit and killed her. The family says their 57-year-old mother and grandmother struggled with disabilities, but always had a smile on her face, and especially loved her daily rides on her scooter.
Well, it was really sad, especially since she was disabled in a chair.
Pat O'Brien Favorite knows just how dangerous this Columbus Avenue crosswalk can be.
The traffic goes pretty fast down the road, and there's no pedestrian light, so it makes it difficult to cross. I think a pedestrian light is definitely needed, and I think police presence until that happens will probably be helpful, because when people see a police car, they slow down.
This crosswalk was actually on the city's radar. A city safety committee was about to recommend that a crossing signal be put here when the deadly accident happened.
Perhaps having that sign may have helped, perhaps not, because the accident occurred in broad daylight.
Last week, the Rochester City Council unanimously approved rapid flashing beacon pedestrian lights like the ones on Main Street for that crosswalk.
It is a very dangerous crosswalk, especially on a night like tonight. I think that these beacon lights will definitely help.
Anytime you have a crosswalk across the major thoroughfare, it definitely should have at least a warning light. They've been addressing it. They knew it was dangerous. So
You feel like that crossing signal's needed here?
I do, especially at night.
City councilors are also looking at other dangerous crossings in Rochester, which they say could also benefit from flashing pedestrian lights.
That was Brad Rogers reporting, and Rochester police say the crash remains under investigation. They're asking anyone who witnessed it to call them. In the meantime, the cost of the new crossing lights is between $15,000 to $25,000.
Well, facing millions of dollars in damage from that damaging storm just before Christmas, Maine is now a big step closer to a major disaster declaration, which could mean money for repairs. The state has met a $2.4 million threshold needed to move the federal funding forward. Mal Meyer has more on what this means for communities shouldering the cost.
I got a lot of respect for the ocean now. I got to be honest with you. I never thought a wave could do something like that.
Joe and Bernice Kehoe were inside when the worst of the storm rocked Camp Ellis. That's their house as it hit.
All of a sudden, this wave just came crashing over the porch, broke all the plexiglass, and threw him against the house.
While many homes and businesses sustained damages, right now officials are focusing on the cost to local governments.
Each county in Maine must meet their threshold before they can be considered for a declaration.
7 counties believe they've reached their own thresholds in damages to things like bridges, town facilities, or certain utilities. But federal officials have to come see some of the sites in person to set their own price tag on repairs, making sure it still meets that amount. That started today.
If FEMA validates those damage claims, Maine's governor will submit a major disaster declaration request to the president.
It's time sensitive. That submission needs to happen by January 23rd, just 2 weeks away.
We saw a fair bit of damage. Historically, this seems to be along the same lines of the ice storm of 2018.
Cumberland County leaders say they're looking at about $1.8 million in repairs. That number keeps going up as crews get to work. Even if the county is included in a declaration, it could take some time before communities see any money from FEMA.
For a lot of these towns, if they put in, $100,000 worth of damage, it could be months and months before they actually get reimbursed for any of that cost.
If you're facing any kind of significant property damage and costs, state officials say to contact your local emergency management office. They may be able to help you find some help or share guidance on the next steps to take.
That was Mal Meyer reporting. Meanwhile, a small coastal Maine town is one of many dealing with a big problem as affordable housing becomes harder to find. A.J. Douglas spoke to one local leader who's trying to address the problem.
Stonington residents are complaining about the constant struggle to find affordable housing in town.
Some houses that may have been like $200,000, a few years ago are now $400,000, well beyond what anyone around here can afford.
Town officials are looking into the lack of housing and high costs. Stonington's town manager, Kathleen Billings, says the town is considering an option to track the number of Airbnb rentals, as several residents fear this could be a big factor in the lack of housing options available to locals.
With the greater numbers of them, some people are buying a lot of property.
Virtual consultant Camoin Associates conducted a housing study for the town of Stonington, finding that more housing options are in fact needed, But
this is a complex problem that took a long time to develop, so there's no one simple answer.
Town officials are open to purchasing abandoned properties to expand housing options. Billings says the town plans to have residents vote on potentially developing a housing revenue fund to use surplus funds to establish housing initiatives. In Stonington, AJ Douglas for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
In other news tonight, a former Maine police officer is finding a new calling as an author. Lisa Beecher and her husband spent decades serving in law enforcement in southern Maine. Beecher's book, called Living with Mr. Fahrenheit, is a memoir that follows her husband's battle with mental illness and the stigma that often exists for those seeking help. Our Jody Hersey sat down with her earlier today.
Law enforcement officers are called to the unimaginable. Car crashes, fatalities, abusive situations, and so many more horrific scenes when they respond to an emergency. Lisa Beecher and her husband served the Portland community for years as police officers.
I detail a couple of those calls in the book, the ones where I noticed an increase in his bad dreams at night. But it was 17 years of shift after shift of traumatic scenes, which every Portland police officer goes through.
Beecher says her husband suffered a psychotic break.
He spent 2 weeks at a psychiatric hospital, came out with diagnoses and therapies and prescriptions for medications, and he stabilized and went back to work for 3 years.
Beecher documents in her new book, Mr. Fahrenheit, what it's like to have a mental illness and the fear and stigma that exists for those who are brave enough to admit they need help.
We are those warriors, those devastation experts, the people that run in when everyone else is running out. How do we reconcile that with our own humanness?
Beecher admits there are police departments taking steps to help strengthen officers and first responders' mental health. However, she says more needs to be done.
There are chiefs doing a lot of work on this now, but we need more. We need more than EAP programs and peer support programs. We need education about what happens to the brain when it's exposed to repeated trauma.
Living with Mr. Fahrenheit is now available at lisabeecher.com and area bookstores. In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
So important to share stories like that and help destigmatize the need for law enforcement to seek that help that they may need.
Absolutely, and it's a job that exposes them to a lot more trauma than a typical job may. So something that is very important, like you said, to break down that stigma and make it more acceptable to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, the Justice Department is reviewing a batch of potentially classified documents found in a Washington office space, President Joe Biden's former institute.
And we're learning new details about the disappearance of Massachusetts mom, Anna Walsh. During his first court appearance, the state detailing the movement of her husband around the time she went missing. We'll have those stories and much more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 comes right back.
Come bowl a few games here at Bangor Brewer Bowling Lanes. We're one of the only Candlepin bowling alley centers in Maine, conveniently located in the heart of Brewer. You always have the opportunity to simply bowl for fun. However, you can also join a league. We have youth leagues, adult and senior leagues. Now don't forget, we also host birthday parties for under $100, and gift certificates are also available. Give us a call right away at 989-3798 to make reservations for your birthday party today. Here at Garrett's Auto Sales, we believe in fair prices, superior service, and always treating the customer right. We have a fantastic selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from, with some priced under $10,000. All our vehicles come with a complimentary 30-day warranty and can be seen at garrettsauto.com. Come see us at Garrett's Auto Sales, where we focus on you, the customer. We're located just 2 miles from the Brewer Walmart on Route 1A. We look forward to meeting you.
Come try one of our daily specials at Pat's Pizza in Hamden. Tuesday, spaghetti or ziti with meatballs or sausage, only $5.50.
Wednesday, large one-topping pizza, only $8.50.
Thursday, get an oven-baked wrap for only $6.
Friday is fish and fries for only $8.
And Saturday, get a small one-item pizza with a fountain soda, only $8.
Bring the family to Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road, North Hampton.
Welcome to Kings Mountain RC and Hobby Shop in Brewer.
And some call me the King.
There are RC trucks, cars, crawlers, and parts aplenty. There are planes, metal detectors, and gear galore. I have decreed that all people can book birthday parties with their RC vehicles provided for all. We have indoor and outdoor tracks and crawling courses available. Bring yourself, your family, and friends to Kings Mountain RC and Hobby Shop, South Main Street, Brewer.
This was your introduction into not being able to breathe.
It's the show everyone is talking about. Fox Wednesday, 16 celebrities began this journey.
Why are you here?
And 4 have already quit.
It didn't even expect to last a day.
Swim! Let's go!
She's panicking.
Who will endure?
Drop the altitude, now!
The world's toughest military training.
It's all about the strength of the mind.
Special Forces, world's toughest test. All new Wednesday on Fox.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
Following President Biden's visit to the U.S.-Mexico border yesterday, many people who live along the country's southwestern border are not happy the president spent so little time there yesterday and failed to see or talk to any migrants. Fox's Griff Jenkins has more from Eagle Pass, Texas.
Too little, too late.
Del Rio rancher Laura Allen frustrated that it took President Biden nearly 2 years to visit the border.
We're the voice trying to warn the rest of our country. We can't hold the line. Your government is not holding the line. I don't think it's okay.
Eagle Pass pecan farmer Magali Urbina says Biden didn't even see the real crisis landowners like her face every day.
He went to El Paso, everything's picked up, everything's clean, everybody's kind of like on their best behavior.
The president spent just over 3 hours on the ground in El Paso, at the port of entry, walking the wall with Border Patrol officials and touring a migrant center, but witnessed no migrants firsthand. Despite CBP sources exclusively telling Fox News there were 518 migrant encounters in the El Paso sector yesterday. Hours after Biden landed in Mexico, a group of 164 migrants crossed into Eagle Pass before dawn. Fox News also witnessed a group of migrants from the Dominican Republic scaling a makeshift wall of shipping containers and razor wire.
I want to thank President Biden for giving us this opportunity. We come from a country that's really poor and we're looking for work.
This, as Border Patrol reports, over the weekend, nearly 7,000 encounters across the entire southwest border, the seizure of more than $118,000 worth of narcotics, and the assault of 3 agents.
I hope somebody does something, whether it's the president or lawmakers, somebody.
And as migrants continue to pour across the border here in the Del Rio sector over in El Paso today, a bipartisan group of U.S. senators, including Republican John Cornyn, Democrat Mark Kelly, and Independent Kyrsten Sinema, met with border officials and local leaders to discuss the migrant crisis. In Eagle Pass, Texas, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Meanwhile, the Justice Department is reviewing classified documents found in President Biden's private office. The White House says it's cooperating, but news that the president could have mishandled sensitive information is certainly getting some attention. Fox's Madeline Rivera has the latest from Washington.
The White House says it's working with the National Archives and the Department of Justice after documents from President Biden's time as vice president were found in one of his private offices. Per the president's special counsel, the items, some of which had classified markings, were discovered on November 2nd by the president's attorneys, who are packing files housed in a locked closet to prepare to vacate office space at the Penn Biden Center in Washington, D.C. The archives took the materials the next morning, and Attorney General Merrick Garland has asked a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in Chicago to look into the issue.
I think is important is to understand what the content of these documents are.
The news comes after the FBI retrieved hundreds of classified documents from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home during the summer. Back then, President Biden was critical after seeing this FBI photo showing some of the materials that were found.
How that could possibly happen. How anyone could be that irresponsible.
Several Republicans are now accusing President Biden of hypocrisy and are vowing to scrutinize the findings.
Oh my gosh, I think we need to investigate the Bidens nonstop.
My hope is that my Republican friends don't become so obsessed with getting the White House that they lose focus of the reason why they're here, and that's to serve their constituents.
House Republicans are promising a slew of investigations, including into the Justice Department. The chair of the House Oversight Committee says he also plans on sending a letter to the White House Counsel and the National Archives, asking for more information about the classified documents found at the Penn Biden Center. In Washington, Matthew Rivera, Fox News.
Today marks 8 days since missing Massachusetts mom Anna Walsh was last seen. Now, chilling new developments in the case as her husband, Brian Walsh, goes before a judge for hindering the police investigation. Fox's Molly Lyon has more from a courthouse in Quincy.
Eerie new details emerging about the disappearance of missing Massachusetts mom of 3, Anna Walsh. Her husband, Brian Walsh, making his first court appearance Monday, a day after he was arrested and charged with misleading the police investigation into his missing wife.
That allowed him time to either clean up evidence, dispose of evidence.
Prosecutors laying out Walsh's movements in the days after Anna was last seen. Despite being on house arrest for a previous crime, Walsh told police he went to visit his mom but got lost. Authorities also say the next day he took an unapproved trip to Home Depot, where the 46-year-old spent $450 on things like mops, tarps, and tape.
Blood was found in the basement area, as well as a knife, which also contains some blood.
Anna was last seen by a family member at her home early in the morning on January 1st. Her husband initially told investigators the 39-year-old was supposed to be taking a ride share to Boston's airport that morning for a flight to Washington, D.C., where she works. But on Monday, it was revealed she had a ticket for a different day.
She actually had a plane ticket for January 3rd, which she did not use, and did not show up at the airport, nor her D.C. job or her apartment in D.C.
A day later, on January 4th, both her employer and her husband reported her missing. Brian's defense attorney says he's been cooperative in the investigation.
We have consented to searches of his home. We have consented to searches of his property.
The judge ordering Brian Walsh held on $500,000 cash bail. He's due back in court on February 9th. In Quincy, Massachusetts, Molly Lyon, Fox News.
Still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, how citizens are showing appreciation for their local officials on National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day.
And in sports, after 3 years without it, Maine Maritime Academy will have a football program again this fall. We'll be right back.
I can name that tune.
One note. Name that tune!
It's Fame.
Celebrity Name That Tune. Season premiere January 11th on Fox.
Pond Hill Farms in Brooks, Maine offers 100% grass-fed beef in a variety of ways. Choose between individual cuts that are state inspected and ready to pop in your fridge or freezer. If you're looking to stock up, Pond Hill Farms offer the option to purchase hanging weight by quarter, half, or whole. We also offer live cattle if you're looking to grow your own herd. Pond Hill Farms also offer rental cottages with spectacular views of the farm and the Maine outdoors. Whether you're looking for fresh Maine meat or a gorgeous place to vacation, Pond Hill Farms is the place to be.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
General Rental Center has been serving Central Maine with equipment and tool rentals for more than 30 years. Our extensive inventory contains everything you need to get the job done right. Our professional, knowledgeable staff is here to make sure that you get the highest quality rental items to complete your project and that they have been serviced and maintained to the highest standards. Power brooms to get that sand off the lawn, leaf blowers, brush chippers, stump grinders, aerial lifts, tillers, and excavators. We rent most everything. If you don't see it in our online catalog, please ask for it. If we don't have the item you need, we would be happy to help you find it.
I did what I did because I had to.
I'm gonna make this right. You have my word.
This is a nightmare.
How am I the bad guy?
He's dangerous.
You could tell me the truth. Don't you want it to stop?
Well, today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Every January 9th, citizens across the country hopefully take some time to show their appreciation for law enforcement officers across their communities. The public can show their support in any number of ways, from wearing blue to sending thank you notes or maybe delivering some late-night coffee to your local police department. These men and women in uniform often work long days and sacrifice time with their own families to protect and serve.
There are people that are more forthcoming now about how much they appreciate it, or just some people go out of their way.
National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day was created back in 2015.
High temperatures hanging out near 30 today. It'll be a bit warmer tomorrow and even a bit warmer than that on Wednesday into Thursday. And then snow changing to rain. And those details for you when I come back.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
It wasn't just a little bit of soot on an old family photo. It wasn't just a couple of books soaked in water. And when you called Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, you were not just another customer. That family photo hangs high yet again, and those irreplaceable first editions stay cemented in history. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
Hi folks, this is Barry Gass of Gas Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono. We've been in business since 1911, and our third-generation family-owned business can't wait to show you our unique line of Western wear and Western tack. We have Western boots, shirts, hats, belts, and buckles for the entire family, and Western tack from bridles to saddles and everything in between for your horse.
Gas Horse Supply and Western Wear, where the American West comes alive in Maine.
Harvey High is now in session. Today's subjects, science.
Name something that can make the earth move.
Heavy rain.
Hold on, it's raining.
Health class.
Something you drop in the toilet and still use it afterward.
Toothbrush.
Nah, I'm not sticking that in my mouth. We're not doing teeth brushing today.
Get schooled with Family Feud.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
Let's go.
It's not how you begin,
You take advantage of the moment.
but how you finish. Super Bowl 57, February 12th on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Varney Chevrolet. Come see what the Varney value is all about. And okay, let's talk temperatures first. Today, highs pretty much hanging out near freezing. 31 here in Bangor, 34 Bar Harbor, 27 Millinocket. We'll take it. Again, the average high here in early to mid-January is about 26, 27. Most of us did that and then some today. We'll do it again tomorrow and for Wednesday and for Thursday, as we could do 40s heading into the weekend. There's not a lot of cold air going around. The gray stuff is kind of cool, but generally above average still. And notice how that kind of sticks around, right? Nothing really cold comes our direction. In fact, it gets warmer and warmer and warmer into the weekend, and we are looking at possibly 40-degree temperatures and then some getting in here Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. All right, the wind out there now is pretty much non-existent. You know what that means, right? We have a snowpack in place in some areas. That could give us some dense fog again tonight. But basically, it'll turn out of the west tomorrow and then switch out of the southwest throughout the afternoon. Okay, so small craft advisories are posted. There are a couple wave heights approaching 4 to 6 feet out here tonight. This will linger into tomorrow. So overall, that small craft advisory in effect through tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Visibility is still looking pretty good. So 10 miles or greater is standard, right? Here it's here in Bangor, Bar Harbor. But off to the west of us, that's where that light snow is falling. But this is all falling apart as it moves this way. There's lots of dry air over here. So overall, we could see a couple flurries. But other than that, the radar sees this stuff in the atmosphere, but it's not reaching the ground in most cases. Now, there could be a couple flurries tonight, but overall, not a big deal at all. In fact, we have decreasing clouds after midnight tonight, and then tomorrow we bring some sunshine back in the forecast. The bigger story is another system across the west, a little something right here. That's not the main event for us, kind of more back over here to the west from there. That's going to be making national news right now, of course, with all that rain across California into Nevada and Utah. They're not used to that, much needed rainfall. But this will become our next system moving in our direction, getting in here later on this week. That will bring us a combination of some snow, changing over to rain as temperatures go up later Thursday into Friday. For tonight, though, a couple of flurries can't be ruled out. Most of us will stay dry. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Here's tomorrow about 10:30 or so, looking at partly cloudy skies. And then throughout the day tomorrow, kind of decreasing clouds. We should say mostly sunny, actually, for a couple hours tomorrow. And then a nice night tomorrow night, but a cool one tomorrow night. And then overall looking pretty good through Wednesday into Thursday morning before we have some increasing clouds later Wednesday into Thursday. And that could bring us a little bit of light rain showers and snow showers getting in here later on Thursday. Now, there is quite a wet system heading our way that could bring us a healthy rainfall. It looks like another inch or so of rain coming our way later Thursday through Friday into Saturday morning. But it will be a little bit of snow in here as well. Not a lot, a little bit north and west of our area. But overall, most of it will be rain getting in here later on this week. Our forecast then for tonight, though, we're talking about decreasing clouds, low temperatures down near 22. There still could be a couple flurries out there. For tomorrow, lots of sunshine, especially through the afternoon, with high temperatures hanging out near 32 and a northwest wind around 10 to 20. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows tomorrow 32, a bit cooler Wednesday 28, Thursday 33, a little bit of snow on Thursday and rain mixture changing over to all rain Friday with high temperatures in the 40s Friday and Saturday. Beth?
So at least a couple of just sunny, crisp days ahead, and then I'm hoping that just all turns to snow. It's so much easier to deal with than rain. Yuck.
You can hope. The temperatures aren't really, at least at this point,
not looking favorable.
Unfortunately, but hey, we still got a few days to get there, so
we'll see.
Maybe Mother Nature will work its magic.
Indeed.
All right. Well, sports is coming up next, so stay with us for that.
Comfort Shoes and More will make winter easier. Next Grip men's and ladies' boots feature cutting-edge technology to make walkways a breeze. Corkers are made with interchangeable soles to conquer the roughest winter conditions. Navitec with the flip it and clip it spikes make you confident no matter what the conditions are. Bruce McDonald's trained podorthist will make sure the fit is perfect for you. See why thousands of people have trusted Comfort Shoes and More for all of their footwear. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles
Roto-Rooter.
The bond between twins is a close one.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war.
As day is tonight.
Would you like me to introduce you to algebra? Al who? Oh boy.
And wrong is to right.
They both say weird kid who eats alone.
You can't have one without the other.
I need my own space. But we've always shared a room. I have a training bra. When you complete your training, get back to me.
Young Sheldon.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Securitas Security Services. Securitas Security Services is hiring in coastal and central Maine. If interested, please call 207-990-1776.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with some big news. In August of 2020, it was announced that Maine Maritime Academy would be suspending football indefinitely due to funding issues created by the pandemic. And as of Monday, that indefinite suspension is now over. The Academy announced on Monday morning that they will be reinstating football starting this fall and in 2024 as a sub-varsity program to start, and then joining the Commonwealth Coast Conference in 2025. It began fundraising in September and 97 days later reached their goal of $562,000, about half of that coming from the Alphon Foundation. Speaking with Mariners Athletic Director Steve Peed this afternoon, he says the process all started with a text from the university's new president last spring.
There were times where I wasn't sure there was going to be a process to bring it back. And, we were looking at a lot of things. We've had a lot of difficult conversations internally. But really the impetus for this was a text message from President Paul, who came on board in April. On a Friday afternoon, he said, what would it look like to bring football back? What would that timeline be? What would it cost? How soon can we do it? I know it was a Friday at the end of the school year, but I couldn't wait to sit down and start putting that timeline and plan together.
Pete says that the next step in the process is hiring a coach and a full-time staff to put a roster together. They'll aim to play 4 to 6 games this fall against local teams and then a few more than that next year. But all in all, Pete says football is part of MMA's DNA, and he can't wait for that atmosphere to be back in Castine this fall.
Just thinking about that tradition and getting to bring that back, you can't beat college football on a Saturday. I mean, there's just something about you, especially small college football. You walk out, you smell the grills going, and there's that fall bite in the air. I can't wait to have that feeling again.
Let's go to the hardwood now. It has been an unreal season so far for Maine sophomore Adriana Smith, and after a record-setting week, she has been named America East's Player of the Week. In 2 games, she averaged 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. On Wednesday in Maine's America East home opener, she dropped a career-high 30 points with 10 boards and 5 assists, becoming the first America East player in over a decade to put up 30, 10, and 5 in one game, and then came back out on Saturday and broke her career high with a 34-point outing, leading Maine to a 3-0 conference record. Smith didn't play too much as a freshman because Maeve Carroll was the team's 5, and she says she was able to learn a ton as Carroll's understudy.
I learned a lot from her coming in here and as a freshman, and she was the starting 5 doing great things. I learned a lot what works in offense from her. So yeah, there's a lot of Maeve's game in mind. So.
All right, it's been fun watching her play this season. Let's hope she can continue it. Let's hit the slopes now. Nordic skiers were in action this weekend in Waterville for the Quarry Road Scrambler High School race for one of really the first major events of the season. Orono's Ruth White dominated the cross-country ski course just as she did cross-country running in the fall, winning the event. But it's been a slow start to the year. Many of the mountains and trails close by could really use a fresh coating of snow. For now, the skiers are working hard in the gym, getting ready for the return to the slopes. Nordic ski coordinator Mike Daly says the kids have been resilient, and we asked if maybe going through the pandemic has helped in this situation.
Yeah, I think in a weird way that resilience that everybody's forced to develop, and certainly for the high school kids and the middle school kids, it's kind of now a new skill set they have to just roll with it, kind of that dogged determination to we'll be okay. We'll be okay with no snow. We'll be okay when snow comes. It's really inspiring.
All right, let's stay with high school sports now. We will go to the hoop scene. A couple of games around the area on Monday. Bangor and Deering boys and girls going at it, so we will start with the girls. Here in Bangor, the Rams are going at it. Bangor looking to stay unbeaten in a top AA North. Deering looking to grab that first win. We'll start this in the second quarter. Bangor up, but Deering fighting back. Maya Gale goes coast to coast on the fast break. 2 of her 21 points right there. Daring with the ball again, but look at this play. Emmy Streams jumps the passing lane, and that's going to be an easy finish for 2 for the Maine Black Bears commit. And while it was close, Bangor was really in control all game. Here is Cassidy Ireland here, too strong off the glass, but Abby Quinn cleans it up and gets 2 of her own. And then some real good ball movement here is going to find Ireland. Nice soft touch from long range, nothing but net. Bangor wins 43-35. Let's go down I-95 now and over into Deering for the boys game. First quarter is where we will pick this one up. Bangor going inside to number 20. Matt Holmes banks it in for 2. Bangor up 4 in the first. Back comes Deering. Justin Jamal with a spectacular move here, getting to the hoop and getting that shot to fall. Beautiful athleticism there in the air. Bangor really working the paint, though. Nice basket here from Ryan Ford for 2 off the backboard. And then it's Connor Boo, and he's coming in with a real strong rebound off of this mid-range, corrals it, fights through 2 Rams, and gets the putback. But Deering hanging tough, though. Here is Trip Marston. He's going to get the circus shot to fall. Back and forth we go. Boone to the basket and 1. Bangor wins a close one, 64-62. All right, some other scores from around the area tonight in Class C and D North. Penobscot Valley 50-33, Bangor Christian 53-31, and then for the girls, Panquist Valley getting revenge on Bangor Christian there. Class AA girls, a big one between Edward Little and Oxford Hills. Oxford Hills coming out on top of that one, 91-48. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Where do you go when you need a real estate appraisal? Who has the experience that I need? Who can I trust? Maine Val has over 30 years of experience across the state of Maine in providing top-quality real estate appraisal services. Contact us today and speak with one of our many licensed professionals. Maine Val, quality delivered on schedule. Call us today at 207-573-3222. That's 573-3222.
CEM DP Porter Contractors has been in business for over 40 years in the Bangor area. We specialize in design build for commercial, medical, and residential. We can assist our customers with anything from lot procurement to helping find financing for your project, along with building maintenance and renovations. CEM DP Porter Contractors is currently hiring in Herman for multiple positions, including carpenters and laborers. We offer vacation, holidays, a 3% IRA match, and competitive pay. If interested in applying, please contact Jason at 207-848-7486.
Have you stopped by our new location? Now located at 67 Belmont Avenue in Belfast. We recently moved and renovated a home from 1965 into our new retail establishment. We tripled the space. Bigger space means even more products than before. Over 50 vape flavors, water pipes, hand pipes, and accessories. There's something for everyone. At Riptide, we want it to feel like home. Because it is.
Good guess.
Cursed romance. Star-crossed lovers.
You better work! Deserves another.
Egyptian writing.
Hieroglyphics.
Wow! I felt like the person shouting wrong answers in the study group. And another.
Opposite water? Sand.
25 words or less.
You did it again. You're going home with another $10,000.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
The theme for this round is things associated with Oprah. You get Pictionary. You get Pictionary. You get Pictionary.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
Welcome back. A new study reveals how exercise helps to slow aging. Researchers at the Joslin Diabetes Center say that when you exercise, there's a, quote, mediator that involves a cycle of fragmentation and repair of cellular mitochondria. Mitochondria are compartments of cells considered powerhouses in breaking down food for fuel. Mitochondria can be disrupted from diseases, but exercise creates a cycle of fragmentation and repair to restore aging damage. Researchers want to study it more to find additional intervention points to potentially slow down aging.
In the meantime, keep chugging at the gym. All right, IHOP is kicking off its 65th year with a menu reboot. It's bringing back its Rooty Tooty Fresh and Fruity combo. That is really fun to say. It will be available for $6 at participating locations nationwide. The combo includes 2 eggs, 2 bacon slices, or 2 sausage links, and 2 pancakes topped with your choice of, yep, you guessed it, fruit. Guests can choose the classic glazed strawberries as well as 3 new options, including blueberry, seasonal mixed berry, and cinnamon apple toppings. IHOP says those toppings, by the way, are now free of high fructose corn syrup.
Well, some great news. Doctors cleared Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin to start on the next stage of his recovery. Fox's Laura Ingle has the latest on the 24-year-old's condition following his terrifying collapse on an NFL field last week.
Dr. Pritz and I are thrilled and proud on behalf of UC to report to you that Damar Hamlin has been released and returned to Buffalo.
A collective sigh of relief from the NFL community. Bills safety Damar Hamlin is back in Buffalo, exactly 1 week after suffering cardiac arrest in front of millions watching the Bills play the Cincinnati Bengals at Paycor Stadium.
He appears to be neurologically completely intact, and there's no reason to believe that he won't continue his path to recovery.
Hamlin was discharged from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center Monday morning. According to his doctors, he is doing well and ready to begin the next stage of his recovery at a hospital in Buffalo. His release comes just days after a breathing tube was removed and Hamlin started walking around on his own. Doctors say he was even jumping around while watching the Bills take on the New England Patriots Sunday.
When the opening kickoff was run back, he jumped up and down, got out of his chair, set, I think, every alarm off in the ICU in the process, but he was fine.
Hours after his release, Hamlin tweeted a message of thanks to his medical team and revealed he is happy to be back in New York. A message he repeated to Bills head coach Sean McDermott during a meeting Monday afternoon.
He's just tired but he's seems happy and happy to be back in Buffalo.
Doctors also reveal Hamlin will be undergoing extensive testing in the coming weeks to figure out what led to his collapse on the field. In New York, Laura Ingle, Fox News.
And on a related note, a boy from Maine is heading to Super Bowl 57 thanks to the New England Patriots. 10-year-old Kellen Tilton from Maine says he became a football fan by watching his brothers play the sport and then attending a Patriots football clinic. Kellen's clearly proud of his brothers and his favorite Patriots running back. Kellen got the news in a video call from the Pats, and he had no idea what was coming.
I was so shocked. It was hard to focus on my school after that. I had to go back to class. Ramondre Stevenson, their running back. I mean, he's the best. Whenever he sees a tiny hole, he goes right through it. And if there's someone in his way, he either stiff arms them or trucks right through them.
New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft made the donation of tickets to Kellen. Kellen, in fact, is a cancer survivor who now helps raise money for childhood cancer. So couldn't find a more worthy recipient of those tickets. Yeah. And I don't know, he sounds like a future analyst to me. He seems to have a very clear vision of what goes on in the game from a very young age.
Seriously, and Ramondre is an easy guy to root for, fun player to watch on the field, but he's certainly got great taste in football and is a very supportive brother, but also to others who are going through what he had to go through. So just great to see him giving back and getting that recognition from the Patriots. How cool to still go to the Super Bowl at such a young age, but for a true football fan, that is an experience he will remember for the rest of his life.
I hope he gets the VIP treatment when he's there.
Absolutely.
All righty. Well, that is going to do it for us, folks, from everybody here at Fox 22. Take care and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.